Running two reselling businesses at once feels like living a double life. On Whatnot, it's all about fast-paced auctions with zero guarantees, while on Poshmark or eBay, my buy it now platforms, it's slow, steady, and controlled. The tricky part is deciding which items to list where. Hey, I'm Kelsey, the owner of Mellowstate. I am a full-time reseller. I sell on Whatnot, which is a live auction platform, and I also list on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. If you're juggling both worlds of live auction selling versus buy it now platforms, it can get confusing fast because they are very, very different. Let me explain. On Whatnot, there are no guarantees. You can start your prices high if you want a guaranteed sale price, but most buyers show up for deals. So starting lower and letting bids drive the price is the normal. While on Poshmark and eBay, it's buy it now. You have the ability to set the price, wait, and sometimes even nudge a sale with offers. It's safer, it's steadier, and it's great if you don't enjoy risk. I do think it's important to mention here that I don't sell on eBay auctions. eBay auctions and Whatnot auctions are two completely different animals. Today, I am breaking down exactly how I decide what goes to my buy it now platforms versus what I run on Whatnot. I'll also take you thrifting with me. This is based on over 2 years of selling on Whatnot. When I first started on Whatnot, I really had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't understand that great risk could lead to great reward. I only ran super cheap buys. I never paid up for an item or wanted to give my items away for what I paid on them. That's changed, and I'll show you why here in a second with real examples. I am going to take you on a thrifting trip to let you hear my inner thoughts while shopping. Quick disclaimer before we dive in, the tips I'm sharing here today come straight from my own Whatnot shows and experience. One of the best things about Whatnot is that you can truly run your business your way. You might not agree with everything I share here or have had different experiences, and that's totally okay. These are simply the strategies that have worked best for me and my business, and I am constantly learning new strategies and changing things along the way. At the end of the day, my Whatnot shows are designed around two main priorities. First is making sure my buyers get a good deal, and second is that they are having fun while watching my live shows. I never know who's on the other side of that purchase. Sometimes it is another reseller picking up inventory, and other times it's someone shopping for their own closet. That's important to understand. My shows are not run exclusively for resellers. Yes, I do sell pieces you could flip and make money on, but I also sell directly to my regular clientele who just want great items at a great price. All right. Let's go thrifting.
Number one thing to remember while sourcing for Whatnot is it's not about profit per item, it's about profit per show. That was a pair of Aerie jogger pants. They were Aerie offline, which is much better than regular Aerie in my shows. Do I think I'm going to make $20 on those pair of pants? No. But $2, $3, $4, $10 profits add up very quickly when you're running 50 to 100 items in a show. My buyers have specifically asked me for Halara items. So when I came across this pair of Halara leggings for only $3, I knew it was an immediate yes. I am very aware that having a clientele who lets me know what they want, and just even having a clientele in general, is very nice. It's a huge blessing. I know when I first started, not knowing what my audience was, not knowing who they were, it was super difficult. Now, knowing my audience, it's very easy to shop because I know what they look for, I know what they like, and it's usually some pretty easy pickups. I don't necessarily have to question myself on every purchase. Some things I see and I just know it will sell very well on my page. This was like the best of both worlds purchase. Let me explain why. It's a Lily Pulitzer dress, which my clientele absolutely loves. Everybody loves Lily Pulitzer. It was missing a button though. I picked it up anyway because I think I'll be able to make a few bucks on it, and I know somebody is going to get an amazing deal on this. Hopefully somebody that knows how to sell. I definitely put that one into my cart. Style-based pickups are definitely a thing for Whatnot. I found this really pretty. I think this was a loft piece. I absolutely loved it. It was a larger size. I knew that would sell really well in my plus size shows. I used to be plus size. I know how hard it is to find cute plus size pieces. So plus size shows are one of my favorite things to source for, finding cute items that are really trendy and great condition, and just giving them a really good deal is something I'm super passionate about. That item I just threw in the cart was a new with tag item, which I'm very picky about when it goes to buy it now platforms. But for Whatnot, if I'm selling that new with tag $50 items at a $5 start price, I think it's people are more inclined to bid because it's a really good deal as it is. So I do love finding low cost new with tag items to give my viewers a really good deal. I was so excited when I found this like faux bog bag. Literally everything that trends comes back around to the thrift store. On this trip, I also found a Stanley and another type of really popular water bottle, but this type of bag was trending this past summer season and I'm already finding them at the thrift store. That's why I always say to shop secondhand. There's no reason to go out and buy new with tag stuff when I promise you'll find it at the thrift store a few months later. These LL Bean pieces, I do think would do great on the Buy It Now platform or on Whatnot. I did pick both of these up because I think they're just great pieces. I got them at a low cost of goods, and these could kind of go either way. They're great pieces for Buy It Now platforms or for Whatnot. All right, try on time. I tried on about 10 things, and this is the only thing I brought home with me. It looks like a little bit of a nightgown, but it's a Zara dress. I thought it could be really cute in the fall with some boots and maybe a belt, or I don't know. Very effortless and shapeless, and I don't have very many pieces like this, so I got it, and that's the cart. And look what I found. This is definitely going on my Buy It Now platform. I do not sell hard goods on my Whatnot shows. It's a Hello Kitty vintage radio clock. They had this marked at $3. Hello Kitty stuff is like all the rave right now. I can't wait for this.
We just found so many good pieces. I hope watching me thrift in real time was helpful to you, but if you're more of a step-by-step person taking notes along the way, don't worry, I've got you covered in this next part. Here is exactly how I decide which pieces go on my Whatnot live auction platforms versus which pieces go to my Buy It Now, Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari stores. The biggest deciding factor is cost of goods. Period. Whatnot is a platform built for quick flips and lower average profits per item. So if my buy-in cost is too high, it usually isn't a good contender for Whatnot. There are exceptions. If a brand is a viewer magnet, I'll pay more because stronger brands bring more eyeballs, which means more bids and a higher chance that the price gets pushed up while buyers still feel like they're actually getting a good deal. A few brands I am willing to pay up for include Lily Pulitzer, Eileen Fisher, Free People, but it also is very dependent upon the styles and not just the brands. These are all brands I pick up and pay up for because I know my clientele likes them. The second thing I look at is demand and velocity. If I know the item has broad demand and moves fast, think more trendy pieces, athletic pieces, graphic tees, but just basic closet staples that everybody wears, it's a Whatnot win. Speed matters. If it's a niche buyer item that commands a premium, like maybe a specific designer or rare size, I will send it to my Buy It Now platforms to let the right buyer find it. I do not want to give away items that I know I can make great money on, and I am willing to show a little bit of patience for that. The third thing I look at is average sale price spread. When I am shopping and looking at items, I will ask myself, what is the realistic ceiling price versus a realistic floor price? If the ceiling price is only a little above my start price for Whatnot auctions, then it's a perfect item for Whatnot. If the ceiling price is much higher than my starting point, it usually makes more sense to put on the Buy It Now platforms. But like I always say, there are exceptions to everything I say here on the internet. If you've been to my shows, you've probably seen me run premium items, even like new with tag $500+ MSRP pieces, and I just start them at $5. I do this for a few reasons. My cost of goods was low enough that I could take the risk. It is a huge way to give back to my buyers and the community over on Whatnot to say thank you, and it helps keep the excitement and momentum in my auctions. All right, those 3 points, cost of goods, demand, and the resale spread are really the backbone of how I make my decisions. And from there, the fun part is that I get to shape my business however I want. Sometimes that means taking a chance on a higher end piece and running it in the live just for the excitement of it. Other times I'll test a new brand or style profile on Whatnot to see if my audience connects with that. And honestly, if I know something is a solid item, but I don't feel like going through the hassle of photographing, listing, inventorying it, then Whatnot is the perfect shortcut for me. On the flip side though, if I really love a piece and I want to make sure it ends up with the person who's specifically looking for it, that's when I will list it on buy it now platforms like Poshmark or eBay. And here's the thing, you guys, reselling is always changing. What I do today may not be what I do tomorrow. It really depends on my mood, my current inventory, and even the type of clientele I am seeing showing up to my shows over on Whatnot. That flexibility is one of the best parts about this business. At the end of the day, I get to make those choices, and so do you. That's what makes reselling so amazing. You can experiment, you can play it safe, or you can do a mix of both. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more reseller tips and tricks. Drop a comment down below letting me know if you're more of a Whatnot seller or if you really like sticking to the buy it now platforms. I'll see you in the next one. Smooches.